Hello everyone, good evening, wherever you are. It's a wonderful and a very beautiful Friday. And it's the Ebitcoinics Academy, just as we do it almost every week. We educate ourselves, we learn, and we do it online. And then on Saturdays, you come to our offices, you meet us, Accra, Kumasi. Every Saturdays, we have some huge blockchain seminars that's constantly ongoing. So you can always walk into our office and then you learn blockchain. And this week, guess what we are going to talk about? Just last week we talked about securities and some of the things that some of the things that go on top of the blockchain ecosystem and the cryptocurrency, and how to even protect yourself. And along the line, we are going to talk about some of the things that blockchain really is not, and people are saying it is. So stuff that blockchain is, and people are, in short, just misconceptions about the blockchain technology itself. And I am, as usual, your host for the day, until you see somebody else next time, of course, which is today, definitely going to happen. Now, what is blockchain? We all know that blockchain is an open, public ledger that records peer-to-peer Bitcoin related or crypto related transactions, and it has different use cases where it has been applied in different industries. But it does not mean that blockchain can be in every other industry and all that. But what is it that people are talking about blockchain being? And it's in reality it is not, or it is not, it's nowhere near or close to that. So we are going to look at some of those things. And guys, this is a very interesting topic, and we are not going to spend so much time as we always promise you. And on first on my list, what I'm going to talk about is people think there are some people out there that really think we only have one blockchain. Like we just have one blockchain, like just one blockchain for the whole wide world, which is a big misconception. It's not true. Actually, what is happening is that blockchain evolved around the Bitcoin network, or the Bitcoin technology itself. So blockchain moves, hand in hand with Bitcoin, and it records Bitcoin's blockchain records Bitcoin related transaction, right? But it does not mean that is the only transaction that is the only blockchain that is used to record all of the other sort of crypto related transaction. No, every cryptocurrency out there, most of them have their own blockchain, and some are also depending on their mother blockchains, some depending on what type of project we are talking about. So we don't have just one blockchain. It's just like you say the internet is one in the world, and any application on top of the internet is just one piece. Of course, we have different decentralized applications that are constantly running on top of the internet, and that makes the internet worth using. And then number two, we have so a lot of people out there thinking that anything blockchain is actually a hub for criminals. Do I look like a criminal to you? No. So it's just one big misconception, and there's guys like the Robert Kiyosaki. Like do we have guys like the presidents of Russia, Mr. Putin? Do we have on and on, the Bill Gates? We have the Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook. We have Elon Musk of what is it? Lots of individuals out there. We have the likes of guys that have been in the technology industry for so many years, and now they are switching into blockchain. You have the likes of Andreas Antonopoulos. We have prominent individuals that are constantly preaching blockchain. So it's not what you really hear in the news, and they make you believe because blockchain is kind of decentralized and everybody have access to certain things. So basically it is meant for some type of individual that use it. No, it is not true. Sometimes they even make you believe Bitcoin related transactions are anonymous and you can't trace it, and it's a lie. Using a cash is much more easier to involve, or to get yourself involved in criminal related affairs, than using Bitcoin, because Bitcoin, everybody is having access to the blockchain, and they can trace every activity of your transaction to get to know whom, and what purpose it was used for. So Bitcoin is not 100% anonymous. It's just like everybody can have access to the codes on your own, and you are kind of your own bank. But in reality, if somebody want to know what you are doing with your funds, they can have access to that. So it is a false. It is a complete false. Then the news can let you buy the good news as bad and the bad news as good. That's one thing, and you just have to educate yourself and know how to differentiate on some of instances like that. And we also have people out there that are thinking blockchain is Bitcoin and then Bitcoin is blockchain. Right. So some of the thing actually that blockchain is Bitcoin and then Bitcoin is blockchain. No, 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 no. Right. Bitcoin is the first application that run on top of the blockchain we have, just like to test and to prove the technology, and it became the first token on top of that blockchain that is used to transact peer-to-peer. But Bitcoin is not blockchain. Bitcoin is the currency, right, or the application on top of the technology, and the blockchain itself is a technology that records everything that happens, that goes on the technology itself. We got right. So don't let anybody confuse you to believe that blockchain is Bitcoin and Bitcoin is blockchain. It makes no sense. And then some people also think that all blockchains are kind of public. We are talking about the Bitcoin blockchain where everyone can have access to the public records, make references and try to be a part of the whatever that is ongoing on top of that blockchain. But come to think of it, are all those projects out there that looks like blockchain really work like that? No. We have anonymously, blockchain related applications that are out there that you cannot even trace a transaction. Something like the Zcash, they are completely hidden from you, the user. You understand? It's away from you, the user, and you cannot trace the transaction, be a part of it, or trying to even know what you are doing. No, it's just like 100% out of the way. But Bitcoin is open source. We know all of them are actually coded with open source related technologies. But Bitcoin, the blockchain, is actually there for everyone to have access. We have blockchains that are not meant for the public or everyone in the public, era or whatever. So not all blockchains are actually out there, and it's like you cannot have. It's impossible to have something like that. I've been informed I'm going too fast, and yes, that's because we have limited time for this. And then I have a point here that I wanted to show with you regarding this same subject, and I quickly visit IT portal, and that gives me some more whatever. And then immutability. We have a whole lot of people that think that blockchain records can never be hacked or altered. Actually, it is very difficult for you to do that. It's impossible. Why? Because it's so hard. What is required for you to be able to do that is going to cause you a whole lot of issues. It's to your own disadvantage. So you won't even think of doing that. But we have something we call the 51% attack on top of the Bitcoin network. What is that? The process where all the mining operations that are ongoing, just one person have 51% of the hash rate or the mining power or whatever computational power, and he has 51% of all the activity that is ongoing on top of the Bitcoin network. With that, you could, be able to whatever, do changes. But ask yourself just a logic question. Right now, what is the price of one Bitcoin? How many devices are in the world that are mining Bitcoin? Right. And then with that, how many power or hashes have been generated with effect so far? So now, how much investment is it going to take you to do that? So if you consider all of this, and it's going to just waste your resources, unless you are just interested in destroying the technology, then you make time for that. Probably, maybe even as you are doing it, the difficulty is becoming much more difficult, and more new machines are coming to making it more healthy and whatever. So if maybe you are not lucky, of course you won't be able to succeed with such intention. And then we also have something for people thinking that blockchain is for file storage. And actually, this is something that is very, very, very important. The way blockchain has been designed, it has been designed to actually give you access to your keys. Right. It's like you had a file, or you have something that is running on top of the blockchain. So you have the key that gives you ownership to that product. Right. Because it has been designed with effect to work in the way blockchain works. But actually, you cannot put a hardcore, let's say a file to run on top of a blockchain directly like that. You have to develop the file on that, but an already created file, you want to put that file on top of the blockchain, that's going to be an issue. And we have something that it says the misconception of blockchain work like the cloud is most likely due to their intangibility. A blockchain cannot store physical information such as a Word or a PDF file, but instead provides a proof of existence. The proof of existence, how is it going to do that? When it gives you ownership to that keys for the file that is running on top of that blockchain or whatever blockchain you are using. Nevertheless, we have technologies that are using the blockchain stakes to actually be able to make you'll be able to upload files readily using their platforms, and then you at the same time have access to your keys. There have been new decentralized ways of sharing files, sharing activities, sharing information, sharing news, and a whole lot of things. So these things are constantly emerging. So you look at some of the problems that is evolving around the technology, the entire technology. You don't need to leave anything out. And then you do consider how you are going to capitalize on those to providing solutions, because when you provide solutions to a problem, it becomes a business, and that business puts money in your pocket. So you have to, if you want to do it, that's what you need to do, and you start thinking, and it's going to take you a lot of things. And then there are a lot of people out there that thinks the blockchain technology is only meant for the financial institution. That's not true. Yes, we talk about blockchain and we talk about Bitcoin because that is what we are interested in. Probably we are interested in financial related activities that evolves around a technology. But it does not mean blockchain is only meant for financial related activities. No, you can use a blockchain to record health related information or data. You can use blockchain for schools. You can use blockchain for government governance. Total governance with how information disseminating in a government, whatever sector you can call, for voting, for making decisions, or privately handling government related information that needs to be like communicated to almost everyone simultaneously. And at the same time to the music industry can use the blockchain to upload their files to prevent unauthorized accesses, the media like movies, those things. And we have laws and the agri sector, talk about it. Every other sector is a possible sector that can be disrupted with the blockchain technology. So it is not only about finances. That is let me say one of the most easier misconception out there that people can easily believe that, hey, blockchain is all about money. So if I'm going to talk about blockchain, I have to talk about money and how to make money with Bitcoin and those things. Yes, it's there, but it's not everything. And then we also have the people thinking that because the blockchain has actually evolved, it is giving birth to a new global economy, and that ends the existence of the fiat money. That is not true. In fact, there are going to be blockchain applications in existence, and we are constantly going to need the banks. We are constantly going to need the fiat system because the disruption has just started. Just yesterday, I posted on my wall where yesterday, 25th October, was the day Satoshi Nakamoto actually uploaded the Bitcoin white paper to his, subscribers, whatever, for the world to get to know about Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic currency. And this technology we are talking about like a joke is already 10 years old. Today is 10 years old. So what do you think? Now, this 10 years old is still like a joke because less than 2% or 3%, or let me say 5% maximum, looking at how it is hitting mainstream right now, less than 5% of the world's population actually know about this. So if you want me to believe that this has given birth to a new global economy, a global economy involves everybody partaking in that economy, or else it is not global. So it means we still have a long way to go. It can only be a global economy for those that are evolving around the technology, those that have something to do with the technology, those that believe in the technology. But it's not yet for everyone else, and that is the direction we want to work, towards. That's where we want to hit. That's where we're going to, and that is what we're going to make sure that it happens. And all of you out there, that our vision at Ebitcoinics.com is to see blockchain technology reaching every household in Africa. and not just Africa, everywhere in the world. So education is what matters to all of us here. So we have to get people to get to know about this technology. They should have a reason to be a part of this technology, or a reason not to be a part of this technology. Right. And so therefore it makes no sense when somebody is trying to make you believe that this has 100% given birth to a global economy or a new global economy. There are still lots of things that needs to be done. Volatility needs to be taken care of in a more decentralized way. Ownership needs to be taken care of in a more decentralized way. Businesses, mainstream adoption, and people should be willing to accept cryptocurrencies in their businesses without they thinking twice. Not only always, constantly, it's all about those that understand technology, know the tech, industry, and they know this is big. It's a big deal, so they just embrace it. That's not how it should constantly work. There should always be changes. And the last thing I would want to talk about is about the Ethereum technology, where it has to do with smart contract. Actually, we have people that are involved with blockchain today, and it's not like a house problem. It's a global problem where a whole lot of people are thinking that smart contracts are actually equal to legal contracts, where they want you to make you believe that everything that is run on top of the smart contract is so legal and you can use it to share legal rights, and yes, it can do that, but it is so young to be able to make legality, concerns, issues that concerns with legality be something like a thing of the past, or so close to that. No, there's still a whole lot more that needs to be done. It says, despite the word contract in the name, smart contracts are not in fact contracts. A smart contract is a software code written into a program which follows instruction written within an agreement between parties. Now, they are basically a list of if or then statements. The computer language is just so crazy, and if you love programming, it's the future. Now, for example, if I am going to click on anything on this remote to communicate with my TV here, if I am going to press maybe change channel or volume or anything, it's all coded with if statements. So it's either if I press the up and it increases volume, if I don't press the up here and I press down, if not this, then this should happen. That's programming languages. Like you're trying to pile up or compile a language or a software for somebody, and he wants you to work with what he wants. So I want to design or develop a software whereby when I upload this kind of mouthpiece of a camera to my whatever application, this should turn into a pie. I should see this as a pie. So if I don't upload this device and I upload that, this cannot be as a pie, because this has been encoded to give the pie results, but maybe this has been encoded to give Bitcoin results. So magically I can just put this in my laptop and it turns to 100 Bitcoins, and then next week you won't see me on this session. Probably somebody will be the one doing this and I'll be on vacation enjoying my 100 Bitcoins. So that is how smart contracts have been designed to work. But now let's look at how legal contracts. I am not a lawyer and I don't want to be one, but let's look at how that contracts works. In many respects, come to only a few many banking and between them in the all main developers with technology very much in mass commercial. I'm trying to find out what legal contracts are, because I am not a lawyer and I don't want to say anything that would do. I want to use the Google definition. In fact, you can't trust Google, but it's friendly anyway. Legal contract meaning. So I'm using my phone, or let me use my laptop. Sorry about that, so that you guys will also be a part of this. And then, okay, so Google, what is the meaning? Legal contract meaning. So we do this legal contracts. So, okay, so do this, and then we see the result that is going to come. Legal contract would have something to do with different things. You see, by definition, it says a legal contract is an agreement between private parties creating mutual obligations enforceable by law. Now, with a smart contracts is basically enforceable by codes. That's the difference. And the basic elements required for the agreement to be a legally enforceable contract are mutual assent expressed by a valid offer and acceptance, educate consideration, capacity, and legality. All of this is not applicable in the world of smart contracts. So codes, yes, are taking care of this because they are the future, but it's not yet close to that unless everybody else in the world gets to agree that, hey, this is our new way of writing legalities, and we accept. Once we accept, we start working with that, and that is what is going to happen. So guys, don't forget to subscribe to our various channels on Twitter, Ebitcoinics, and then on Facebook at Ebitcoinics. Don't share this video if it makes sense actually, yes, to those that deserve to see, and then invite your friends every week for them to join us. It won't cost you anything to join this session and ask your question, and hopefully I'll see you once again next week, God willing. Enjoy your evenings wherever you find yourself.